Today, I wanted to talk about what my path was like getting to UC Berkeley and somehow being a chemical engineer. And I'm bringing this up because today I was getting a haircut, as some of you may be able to tell. Um, and I was talking with this mom who was very concerned because her son wasn't getting a high enough SAT score, and she really wants him to go to UC Berkeley, and she's pushing him to retake the exam. And she was asking me all these questions because she heard me mention I went to UC Berkeley, and I thought I'd make this video just to kind of clarify my opinions and my takes on all this stuff. And yeah, so hopefully this will add some insight for some people who value my opinion. Um, so I graduated in 2018 with a bachelor's in chemical engineering from UC Berkeley. I was a transfer student, and my take on this whole uh, applying to college and which college to go to and which major you should do is that regardless of how smart you are in high school, regardless of how well you score on the SAT, whether that's good or terrible, I didn't score that well on the SAT. Uh, Regardless of what your GPA is, I will say uh, going to junior college is arguably the smartest decision that you can make. And when I was at UC Berkeley, uh, I would say roughly half of my peers, including myself, uh, did the transfer route. And so we did not do our general ed at UC Berkeley. We did that at our junior college. We took whatever other requirements that chemical engineering had us do. We could fulfill those at our junior college. And so when we transferred into UC Berkeley, you could finish the upper div requirements to get the bachelor's degree from UC Berkeley in chemical engineering, which saves an enormous amount of money, number one. But number two, and this is what I think is even more important, is that your time in your junior college is an excellent time to really get to know if this is a major that you want to do. And if it's not, basically learning that you're not supposed to be an engineer, you really like art history, or learning that math just isn't your thing. Doing that in junior college is a lot cheaper and nicer and easier than it is at UC Berkeley. At UC Berkeley, when you come in as a freshman straight out of high school, you're going to be in these classrooms filled with very competitive people. They all did really well on their SAT, and they got really good GPAs, and you're going to be thrown into the deep end of the pool and expected to float, and it's going to be very stressful and hectic. Um, just like general ed classes like Calculus 1, Calculus 2, even though you took Calc BC or whatever, um, you're probably going to have to take Calc 2, and Calc 2 at Berkeley I know is super tough. Um, and I didn't have to take Calc 2 because I took it at my junior college, and I'm not even a huge fan of math, which is not good for me to say as an engineer, but my point is that if you talk about how nice of a transition you have from high school, I would argue time and again until the day I die that going from high school to junior college, then into a university, whether or not that's Berkeley or a state school or any other UC or any other university, I will think that that is an easier transition to make than going straight from high school into a university, because at the university level, everything is a lot more expensive. There's a lot more expectations and confounding variables in terms of like distractions and things you can start uh, focusing your time on, and everything is just so much more expensive. So junior colleges, I am 100% behind. I 100% love. I went to Santa Rosa Junior College. I think it's a great campus and great people and great teachers. And for me, it was extremely important and helpful that I had the teachers that I had at Santa Rosa Junior College. Some of my favorite teachers I had as an undergrad are at SRJC because they are that good, and I really appreciate how hard they worked to make sure that not just me but the whole class could follow something. And you really don't see it to that degree at UC Berkeley. In UC Berkeley, you're going to be dumped into these big, huge lecture halls where you're going to have grad students who do most of the teaching. And these grad students are hit or miss usually in terms of whether or not they care, because they are obligated to do it by the campus, by UC Berkeley. So sometimes the people really love teaching and they really put their heart into it. And other times it's kind of like, uh, yeah. And then the professors are, they're very big shot people. They've got lots of publications and citations and references up the wazoo. So, these professors are kind of people where, yeah, you can go to office hours and you can probably talk to them for a few minutes, but you will do most of your learning on your own with your friends from the textbook, from GSIs, the graduate student instructors who are grad students at UC Berkeley, hopefully doing work that is relevant to whatever class they're a GSI for, which is usually the case. I don't want to bag on UC Berkeley, but my take on this is, if you're a parent or if you're a student who is interested in UC Berkeley, or going to a really high-end UC or whatever, taking the junior college route is by no means, it should not be stigmatized. I went to UC Berkeley. I went to a junior college. I will tell you, and I firmly believe this in my heart, that the people who went to that junior college with me, and the people who go there today, and everyone who goes to these junior colleges, they are great people. I respect them so much, and I know how hard it is to work and go to school, and everyone there is making huge sacrifices to get an education. And for me, going to junior college almost helped me write an even stronger application essay. It did help me write a stronger application essay for UC Berkeley, because I gained so much more perspective on, why I should value my education as much as I do. And I got to see like how hard it is to be 30 or 40 or 50 years old and try to go back to school when you've got a career and you want to start changing direction. And for me, it was an excellent learning opportunity that, in my opinion, made me a lot stronger of a candidate for chemical engineering and UC Berkeley. And I grew up a lot. You got to learn how to commute. You got to learn how to find parking and show up on time and get yourself there. And so this is a big step forward in terms of the students themselves, in terms of just becoming adults. And so it is really great. And I cannot hit home hard enough that I really, really, really believe that I would almost, if I was in power, I think people really should spend time at a junior college in high school, and then after high school, and then, if you found something that you're really passionate about and you want to major in it, now go spend your last 2 years or 3 years at a university, and you'll save a lot of money. You'll have a lot more fun. You're going to be a lot better person. And, yeah, I'm going to probably get some heat from UC Berkeley for saying this. But this is my opinion, and I want to be heard. I want people to know what my take is on this. I will also say this, and this will make me look bad, but part of the reason why I even have this YouTube channel, I talk as much as I do about chemical engineering and all these other subjects, is that when I was in junior college and I knew I wanted to transfer to UC Berkeley. Like, I've wanted to go to UC Berkeley pretty much my whole life. And that was because my parents wanted me to, but for a number of other reasons. But that really, like, if I didn't grow up in the family that I did, with my dad constantly pushing me to go to UC Berkeley, I probably would have gone to a different school. And, I probably would have still done the same major, though, because I think at the end of the day, I found things that I really enjoyed on my own in school. And so chemical engineering turned out to be something that I just really resonated with. But it was kind of a shot in the dark, and I got lucky in many ways, because I honestly had no idea what the curriculum is like as a chemical engineer. And yeah, you can go on the UC Berkeley website and look at the classes that you're going to be taking. And you'll say, oh, I'm taking CBE 141 in spring 20 whatever. Like, you don't really know too much about, okay, it's thermodynamics, but you just don't really get that, of a ground level perspective on what would a typical day look like to be a chemical engineer in thermodynamics. And so this channel for me is really hopefully another opportunity for you, if you're interested specifically in UC Berkeley and the chemical engineering program, to start looking at it a little bit more in depth and see, I can't like explicitly post the problem sets that I did and stuff, but I talk about the same concepts that we did without hopefully violating copyrights because I don't want to get sued. But you know, yeah. So uh, that is my take on this whole my path to UC Berkeley. I graduated high school. Here's another fun fact: I got rejected the first time I applied to UC Berkeley. I wasn't good enough to get into the school as a senior in high school because for whatever reason, maybe my GPA wasn't high enough. Even though my GPA was 3.98 unweighted and 3.4, I believe, weighted. And I had a 2,000 out of 2,400 SAT score, which corresponded to I think 90th percentile. I'm not 100% accurate or 100% confident on what percentile that was, but I had extracurriculars and all this other stuff, and I just wasn't good enough. And I actually applied for biology initially, so I kind of went to my junior college, got a better understanding of like what I really wanted to do uh, with my undergraduate education, and did chemical engineering. And if you want to get to an even broader perspective here, I will say that what college you go to and what major you decide to do. Uh, Once you get 5 years down the road into a career, it starts to become a little irrelevant because by that point, employers are going to value mostly what your relevant experience is. So if you're a worried parent or student out there who thinks, oh, if I don't go to UC Berkeley and I don't do chemical engineering, I'm not going to have a job, that is BS. And just let me wipe that out of your mind right now because uh, you really should know and take home that, you know, life has a way of figuring itself out. And once you graduate college, or even if you go to college, you're going to get a job and you're going to meet people and do things and go places and find things you enjoy doing, find things you don't enjoy doing, learn the hard way, remember things, make mistakes, and it's all part of life. And for me, that's what makes everything so beautiful at the end of the day is that there's no script here. It's all just you figure this stuff out on your own and enjoy the time and people you're with. uh, at UC Berkeley, uh, keeping the right mindset was extremely important because it is so stressful and there is so much work to do that if you were someone who just spent your whole life studying for the next midterm, you're going to burn out. Even though, yeah, maybe you could have scored 2 points higher and got a B instead of a B minus. uh, is it really that important at the end of the day to get a GPA that is 0.01 higher? Mm-mm. No, in my opinion, it's worth so much more to start getting more exposure to life and seeing what's out there in this world. So, um, I know this is probably weird to hear it from an engineer who went to UC Berkeley, but this is my take from my heart to all you guys and girls out there who are interested in this stuff, because just keep doing what you're doing and believe that you will find what really matters to you at the end of the day. It may take longer for you than for your friends or your parents want you to, find whatever you want. But just know that, in my opinion, the best thing you can do is just keep looking and keep trying. And maybe UC Berkeley and maybe engineering isn't the major that you're meant to do, which I had that thought many times. Um, and at the end of the day, though, you'll figure it out. And uh, maybe you end up changing major, and maybe you end up finding something you enjoy and love 10 times more than you enjoy doing engineering or going to UC Berkeley. Because I will say this also, as a Cal alumni now, as of 2018, I believe that you can get as much out of your education from any other institution as you can from UC Berkeley. It's about what you put in as a person, and it's about the people you meet. It's about all the opportunities that you decide to take advantage of. Going to UC Berkeley, you're going to get opportunities, but you're going to get a lot of opportunities at other schools too. It's what you make of them. If I guarantee you right now, there's tons of people at UC Berkeley who they're not doing research. I know this. They just don't do research because they don't want to, and it's very time consuming. And so they just don't do it. And in my opinion, if you're going to be going to UC Berkeley, which is a very large public research institution, you should be trying to do research. But I'm not going to force you. No one's going to force you to, but it's just one of those opportunities that's available to you that you really should take advantage of if you're going to be a student there. Tons of other universities have research opportunities available as well. So, um, hopefully when you listen to what I'm saying, you just take a step back and ask yourself, what do you want out of your education? What do you hope to get out of your life? What is meaningful to you? And how do you think, or what do you think is the best way to do it? And if you can answer those questions, you'll have a really good personal statement. And if somehow that all aligns with you being a chemical engineer and going to UC Berkeley, fantastic. And you'll have a really good personal statement that will set you apart from the other kids who are applying just because it's what their parents wanted them to do, or it's just, because chemical engineering happens to pay pretty well. So, like, don't look at it that way. Look at it more in terms of what do you want to do and what is meaningful. So, with that said, I hope this message resonates with some people, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Appreciate feedback too, so maybe I come off as too intense or something, but anyway, this is just my take, and hopefully I'm not offending anyone. It's not my intention. And UC Berkeley is a great school. Every school is great. I really hope and love seeing people get educated wherever that is, whatever you do, even if it's not a STEM major, like, just know more about life. It's fantastic. And thank you for watching, and I hope this helps. And thank you again.